Hiya, I'm Jen from Lunar Spirit Wellbeing. We are about day 3 now in Mental Health Awareness Week.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to share your experiences. So just tell me a little bit about your experiences with mental health.
Okay, so I actually diagnosed myself with PTSD 4 years ago. I was a social worker working with vulnerable families and children in care.
Okay.
And it was a very stressful time. Sadly, I lost my home. I lost my job, my confidence, and most of all, I know I said it was a job, but it was actually my career.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually my career I lost. I spent many years going to the doctors because he said, they kept on saying, oh, you're depressed, you're depressed. They wanted to give me tablets. I didn't take the tablets. I just didn't feel that I didn't want to mask my feelings.
Yeah.
So I kind of tried to do other things. I went jogging. So I would do like 15 miles every other day jogging. It really helped. Jogging. Yeah, jogging 15. Yeah, I was a lot younger then, so it's a bit easier. So, yeah, so doctors just kept on giving me tablets, wanting to give me tablets, and I didn't do it. And no 2 days were the same. So I would have up and down days, and I could never understand why one day I was really tearful and another day I was kind of okay. Yeah. So I just carried on. I had my family, like I said, I went to university, got my degree, and it all happened 4 years ago when I'd been working and I was doing a friend's job. Like I said, I just lost my home. I was in rented accommodation, and I had a child with me as well. And I just couldn't stop crying. I just literally, I'd been to do a visit. I come home and I just looked at my place and I just literally started screaming. It was messy, and I just started screaming and I couldn't stop. I just moved into the area, so I eventually went to the doctors, and the nurse said to me, "How are you?" And that was it. That's all I needed. I just needed somebody to ask me how I was. And it just kind of all come out. And for 6 weeks, I just slept in my garden. I couldn't do anything. I just literally slept in my garden. I didn't do anything. I couldn't go to work. I was kind of just on autopilot. I still had to do, look after my son.
Did you feel you had like a breakdown then?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had a breakdown. So that was kind of the beginning, really, because I was so relieved. I was so relieved to get a diagnosis after all this time, because when I look back, what I realised was that when I had, say, a trauma in my life or a major event, say I had a child, or I lost my job, or I moved, something that was stressful, then my behaviour would change. I would be depressed. Yeah, I would be depressed.
Life events would then trigger your depression.
Yeah. And I've had counselling. I had counselling for years. I had so much counselling, but what it seems was I got the wrong counselling. I had the wrong counselling. Because everybody was treating me for depression. You know, it was just depression, and nobody had actually looked at my past. Yeah, and what happened is that when I was 23, I had a major trauma in my life, and so what
Okay, so
happened
this is where
was,
the PTSD started then.
yeah, what happened is I didn't talk to anybody about it. I just carried on. I just carried on with my life. I just got on with it. I do remember having a back pain, and I remember my friend saying, "Oh gosh," said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Oh no, I've got a back pain." And she's like, "Oh, that could be stress." And I just laughed at her. I went, "Oh yeah, whatever." You know, I was quite young, and so that was kind of it. And then yeah, I just carried on. Like I said, got my degree, worked with so as a social worker, but took on all that stuff as well. So I was dealing with abuse every day. I was dealing with reading about trauma all the time. You know, I was reading about
You
it.
kind of absorbing all that negativity as well.
Yeah,
And you know, the
yeah,
mind body connection, we do, if we don't release our emotions, we then store them in our physical bodies, which can then come out as pains in our bodies, and then later on go as dis-ease, and we can actually get some quite awful health conditions from not releasing our emotions and not dealing with what's going on.
exactly. And then, so that happened when I was 23. And then when I was about 10 years ago now, I was a social worker, and I was having counselling. And on the way back from the counselling, I had a car crash, and I wrote my car off. And the fire brigade said that if there'd been a passenger in the passenger side, they would have been dead.
Oh wow! And how
Yeah.
did that make you feel then?
Well, that was the problem. I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. I wasn't devastated about the car or myself. Yeah, because I walked away. You know, I walked away from that accident. I got out of the car and I walked away. Um, and then, so I had the car accident. But the week before, what happened is that I went to do an unannounced visit as a social worker, frontline social worker. And I went to the house, and the lady wouldn't let me in. She wasn't very happy that I was on her doorstep because it was an unannounced visit Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And what happened is she had a pot of fat in her hand, and she walked across me, but I thought she was going to throw it at me because she walked so fast. And what I found out afterwards, that the pan and the car accident took me back to my trauma when I was 23.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I feel quite tearful now because
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it was hard, and with PTSD it doesn't go away.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It stays with you. Do you know? It doesn't. You know, I've had therapy, and they've said that they've cleared one of my traumas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that it's expensive to have therapy, and they've said that I would need more therapy to clear the other traumas. So I had EMDR therapy, 2 lots of EMDR therapy. Yeah, so that was kind of difficult. So after that, I wasn't able to do my job. Like I said in the beginning, lost my home. I lost my career. I wasn't able to speak. I couldn't even speak. The hardest thing was the other people.
Right.
That was the hardest thing for me. Apart from losing my career and losing my confidence and my just my career, other people's attitude, you know, it was the ignorance, it was the not understanding, it was the, oh well, go and get a job, you'll feel better if you go and get a job, you know, don't sit around all day moping, you'll feel better. But I've been working, I'm working, you know, just because you're working.
Invisible illnesses, then unfortunately not everybody understands that what we go through when we have mental health conditions, because on the outside we look perfectly fine, you know, we're joking, we're smiling 1 minute, but inside, you know, we've got all these things going on, and sometimes it's totally disabling to have these mental illnesses. But on the outside we look fine, and it's just unfortunately some people don't understand. This is partly why I do what I do, to raise awareness and to educate people, because people don't know what they don't know, and sometimes it's not in a nasty way or anything, people just haven't ever had to understand mental illness, or they just don't know. So that's why I do what I do, and I love to raise awareness. I love to speak about mental illness, and not all illnesses are visible.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the feelings I had was of shame. You know, I've never ever told it. You know, close friends and family know, but I've never done this before. You know, I've been ashamed. The pain in my heart. You know, I felt trapped. I felt stupid. I felt vulnerable. You know, all of those feelings that you have, that you can't tell people, you can't say to people, because they're fed up of it as well. You know, if you're going around and you're saying, oh, I've had a bad day today and I'm stressed, people go, yeah. But if you have a physical illness, okay, if you have, you know, a physical illness, people go, oh, you know, they can see it. It's visible. Yeah. I would walk around, like you were just saying, I would walk around and smile on my face, you know, but that was a facade. That was such a facade, because inside I was in bits. Do you know what I mean? Inside I was like, I just want to feel happy. I just want to feel naturally happy. You know, I want to be able to, you know, have fun and laughter. You know, I want to just do it naturally, not you know, make it up. You know, not make it up.
Yeah, not have to hide how you're really feeling. So, what steps have you taken then to manage your symptoms?
Okay, well, after obviously the breakdown, it's been a journey. It has been a journey. I did try going back to work again. That didn't work because of what I said about all the, you know, negativity. First of all, I got the therapy. That was amazing. Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. I've also done meditation.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I've changed my eating habits. The one thing I have done is I've actually forgiven myself.
Amazing. Yeah. That's what we need to do there. We need to forgive ourselves.
I blame myself, you know. I blame myself because I've got children. It was my fault. How could I let this happen to me? How could I be so stupid as to, you know, to do this, to be in a vulnerable position? Yeah. And also, I've been quite spiritual all my life, but I've actually done the meditation, but it's been more than that. It's my life, you know. Spirituality now is my life. You know, every day I'm grateful. Every day, you know, I want to help people. I've always helped people, but now I'm on a mission now, because the more people I help, you know, the more awareness we can have will save lives. Do you know?
Exactly.
you know, I have wanted to kill myself, you know, twice. And I'm so grateful that I didn't, do you know, because
you didn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. I am grateful. But people say, you know, people said, you know, they knew about, oh, you're selfish. Yeah, of course it's selfish. Of course it is. But when you're feeling like that, that's the only thing that's, you're not thinking about other people. You're not thinking about, all you want to do is get rid of that pain.
Yeah.
That's all you want to do. You don't want to feel pain anymore. And what's the best way to do it is to not feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, forgiving myself is really been the you know, my saviour really, and the spirituality.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's suffering now?
Talk. Yeah, find somebody, find a mind, you know, find a group that will listen to you, who understands. Yeah, I went to the doctor. Yeah, I went to my boss. I went to counselling. Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't get it. They you know, they missed it. They missed it. You know, I went to somebody who deals with children, and when you've had a baby, yeah, and they missed it. They missed it. Postnatal depression. They missed it. Yeah, but you know, mind, you know, an organisation that have been doing this for years, do it. The other thing is, what I would say is, if you know anybody, yeah, that you know's got mental health issues, yeah, don't be asking them how they are. Yeah, don't be going, oh, how are you today? Just send them a text, thinking of you. That is what you need, because people will lie. People will make it up. People will tell you what they think you want to hear. But you know what? Just a text with a smiley face, or just a thinking of you, is more than how are you today, because it opens up a whole can of worms, you know.
Definitely. I think that's great advice, is talk to somebody. However small or big you think your problem is, or there is somebody out there that's going through the same thing. Find somebody that understands what you're going through and talk to them, because we're not alone in this, and I want people to know that there is help available, and there is life after diagnosis, and we can manage our symptoms, and we can be happy and be free from the shackles of mental illness and those intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like I said, it's been a journey, and now I just want to, you know, I want to help other people, and I want to share that, you know, I do wake up now. I do feel, you know, when I wake up, that I've got a purpose. You know, I don't have doom and gloom, but I'm not. That's not to say that it's not going to happen. You know, it's not going to happen. I've just had quite a stressful month personally, but I kind of, I'm more aware. Yeah, I'm aware now of my triggers. Yeah, yeah, I know that, you know, if I'm having a bad day, then I'll turn my phone off, and I won't talk to people. If I don't want to talk to people, I won't go out, you know, and then I'll do a bit of meditation, I'll do a bit of exercise, I'll eat what I want to eat, and then I know that tomorrow I could be fine, you know. So it's about,
All about, yeah. Sorry.
sorry.
I think it's all about understanding your condition. Get to
Yeah,
know your condition, get to know yourself. You know, although we're diagnosed with these conditions, it is everybody's individual, and everybody has different symptoms and different ways of cope. But I think it's getting to know your triggers, getting to
yeah,
know when you can feel like a mental health episode coming on, and then finding those solutions, having a strategy in place as well,
yes.
so that you know what to do when you start having those thoughts and feelings, and you can feel yourself spiraling. It's having a plan in place and really getting to know yourself.
as my job was caring for other people, that's what I did. You know, I care. Anybody was there, I cared for them. You know, I protected my children. I protected my family. I looked after everybody else. And then my brain said one day, "Whoa, hold on a minute. What about you?
Yeah.
You know, what about you?" And you know what? That's what I do now. Yeah, I actually sit back and I go, "Mandy, what about you? You know, do you have the energy to be able to support other people?" You know, and the other thing I actually have rang Samaritans in the last month. I've actually rang Samaritans on a number of occasions because I wanted independent, not advice, because they can't give you advice. I just wanted somebody to listen to me. I just wanted somebody to go, "Yeah, you've got a lot going on." That's all I wanted. And then I went, "Yeah, you know what? I have." And then it kind of gives you permission.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of gives you permission to actually go, "Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to look after myself today.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
do
about
this."
honouring ourselves, isn't it? It's honouring ourselves first, and honouring our
Respect.
feelings, and having those boundaries, which I think are really important. Having healthy boundaries and saying, actually, I've given enough right now, and I need to give myself some time and some space and some nurturing and some love. And it's all about knowing when to do that. And then once we can do that, we're more able to help other people.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's about respect as well. You know, you have to be kind you have to, you know, you have to be respectful to yourself and true to your values as well. You know, true to your values, because, you know, for me, you know, my career, I hate to say it again, but was, you know, respecting others, treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, I couldn't go in there and go to, you know, Joe Blogs and like, "You must do this, you must do that," because nobody would have listened to me. You
Yeah.
know, it was about, yeah, it was about listening to them. You know, listening to other people and going, "Well, actually, how do you think you could make a difference?" And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I do for myself now. I go, "Well, actually, Mandy, how can you make things better for you today?" You know, I remember ringing the Samaritans and she said to me, "So what could you do today for you?" And I was like, "Oh, gosh, it's really rubbish weather out there. I don't have a lot of money." But I went to the cinema because, one, I didn't have to talk to anybody. Yeah.
Right.
Didn't have to see
Yeah.
anybody. Yeah. I just jumped on a bus and went to the cinema. But I watched something that was funny. And
I
that helped me because it
listen.
was for me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. It's been an
That's,
absolute pleasure speaking with you. And there's some real nuggets of information there and some really good advice. And I will pop the Samaritan's number on this page as well for anybody who is struggling and they just want to reach out to somebody to talk to. So
okay.
thank you so much and
No,
wish you
thank
the
you.
best.